Oh, hello, Louie. Yeah, he doesn't like the hot days. He sleeps in the bushes. I've been trying to buff that hood, but it's been too hot. And even in the shade, the stuff dries. And then when you sprinkle it down with water, it dilutes it, so it's not as coarse. But anyway, this evening it was a little after the sun went down a little bit. It allowed me to buff it a little more. I'll show you in a minute. Ugh. Yeah, he was pretty wild the other night. You could smell manure, which means there's wild animals attacking. You couldn't even pat him, he was so wild. But tonight he's a little more relaxed now that it's cooled off a little bit. Yeah, it's been awful hot. Like, I don't know, 30 degrees. Yeah, this isn't an action packed video, just me gabbing. He just showed up. First time I've seen him for hours. Whew. Anyway, yeah, this hood, it had a little bit of rust. Um, here where I welded it, I see it warped the metal a little bit. But anyway, like there was no hole. So I cut out the rust on the top and welded my patch, and I had it kind of hot and very, very close to here. But anyway, that, I guess it survived. But you can see there's a lot of undercoating has to be wiped off. But that's kind of what saved the hood. But it was a few years where it had no undercoating, so it started rusting. But anyway, it's got a bit of a shine. The hood was actually a disaster because the idea that I had by spraying it outdoors with the bugs to cover up that gray primer wasn't the best idea, but it did get covered, and I put 3 coats on the hood, but I had too many bugs and I had to sand it. I actually had to sand it with 240 wet to get rid of the bumps from the bugs, and then 400 wet to get rid of that sanding. And then I had some 600, so I went over it, but then my 600 was kind of wore. So I then went to 15, and I spent quite a bit of time sanding with 15 and then tried to buff it. And with the heat so hot and not being able to put it indoors, I had troubles buffing it the last couple of days, but this evening I managed to buff it. Plus the pads that come with the DA, I'm not sure if they're registered the proper thing, but I used the coarsest pad I had, and my rough coarsest compound. But by the time I used it a few times, that the foam was super soft, softer than the softest pads. So I went to the lighter duty compound and kept buffing, and there were scratches down down deep, like if you really look at it and got the light just right, you can see it's kind of scratchy, but for now it looks presentable. It's kind of almost as shiny as the roof. So I'm just waiting to get a couple people here so I can put it on the other car. I don't really want to, when it's up, it's like that close to the windshield. So it's a little awkward. Got to be careful. So anyway, I'll make this kind of quick. I had better luck in here. I sanded my runs out. I had two runs there and a bunch of runs down here. Anyway, I got that sanded out. I used 1500. I started with 1500 and I ended with 1500 because that's all I had. And then I went coarse compound and buffed it a little bit with I guess this drill and a wool pad and then the foam pad, and for this delicate stuff. But anyway, this is the coarsest foam pad that they have with the DA, and now that's softer than the soft one. So I used it, but anyway, the runs are out, and over here there was a real dry spot right here, like super dry. It's a little bit orange peely. You can see just a little tiny bit of orange peel. But here, this was super dry, so I sanded this with my 1500, and I got that looking pretty decent. So anyway, I'm getting anxious to get that hood on. I'm not going to attempt to do it by myself. I can wait until I get company. But the bumper actually turned out exceptionally well. No dirt, just very fine little specks of dust, a little tiny bit. But I'd have to say it turned out excellent, especially where it was so badly sandblasted in the front. Like, it came out good. It actually came out better than the rest of the car, but it is a different texture on the paint. The little gun worked a little different than the big gun, but anyway, slowly, it's hot here during the day, so in here it's kind of nice, and I'm getting anxious. I'm gonna maybe tomorrow start ripping that back end apart to put some new parts on it and get things ready in the mechanical end of it. But anyway, I just thought I'd say hello, and you guys have a good night or day. See you later.